Hello everyone, this is Redragon back on the DC Universe online test server. And in this episode I'm going to be looking at the Tantu Totem, a new artifact. This is currently live with the current episode. And I normally don't test these on the test server. I just kind of like to put it into play at a lower level on actual content. But this is one of those ones that kind of like builds up stacks of something, and those are really hard to test at the lower levels because most of the effects are not going to trigger. So I just want to show you the blank one. I leveled the one that I have in inventory. Okay, so unfortunately I should have recorded it before I leveled it up so I could show you the description. But I'll just go by whatever I remember. Yeah, at the lower levels, at least two of them had a hard time triggering. So I just decided to level it up to 200 on the test server just to have a look. On live, I got it to about 120, then I stopped. Because I tried to test it at 120 and it is inconclusive at that level, whether it would be useful or not. So let's take a look at the maxed out description then. So upon casting 4 cross weapon combos, at 120 it's something like 10. So you get a line aspect, which if you look down at the bullet points, that buffs your superpowers. So superpowers inflict 20% of their total damage again. So basically your weapon combos, casting 4 of them, will buff a power move. And the opposite, the shark aspect, as you cast superpowers and it says 6, it will buff your weapon. And then if you use a Supercharge, it buffs both. Now at the lower levels, like I said, the line aspect takes about 10 cross combos, cross weapon combos. That part was always unclear to me, because I'm not sure what constitutes the beginning and end of combo. When this was at 10, it would like never trigger. Until I hit a sparring target for maybe like a 50 hit combo or over, then it would finally trigger. But in actual content, I never saw it trigger. The other one, the shark aspect, is a little bit more clear because it says you have to cast 6 superpowers. So it's any power, whether it's a hit or not. So a shield counts as a superpower. This one did trigger consistently at the lower levels. I think it was also like a 10 or 12, and when I counted 10 or like whatever the number was, it actually did trigger. The Supercharge never triggered at the lower levels because it was something like 20,000, and your Supercharges are either 5 or 10, so that means you would have to build up as you went along in the instance. All in all, like based on all of that, whether it's low level or high level, this artifact seems to be built for like a really long boss fight or elite content. Because if you're just running around in open world, there's a lot of idle time between like the pockets of ads. It's also unclear like when the stacks release. Like, what if you're idle a long time? Does it actually retain it? I kind of think it releases after a certain amount of time. So these type of artifacts that stack, they don't really do much for you in the open world when you're running from objective to objective, because you're constantly in and out of combat, and there's a lot of time where you're out of combat. And even in an instance, like sometimes because of cutscenes and the in and out of combat, it might negate some of this stacking up. But if you're like in Elite, where the sequences are much longer, or if it's like a raid boss, then this could be pretty helpful. Let's see what this looks like against sparring targets first. Now, when we test these stacking artifacts against sparring target, it's purely to see if it works. It's not a good test of real content, because on a sparring target, you're constantly hitting. But in like real content, you know, you're moving in and out of combat. Sometimes you're defending, sometimes it's a cutscene, sometimes you're talking with your teammates. So to me, these stackable ones, it seems like you would swap it in, like before a boss fight, before a long boss fight. Or if it just happens to be an instance where you're constantly in combat. Okay, so there you see the lion. So going back to the description here, for that line to show up, see that it says 4 cross-weapon combos, and how many times did I fire my weapon in that sequence? So I still don't know what constitutes the beginning and end of combo. Like, I mean, is that a combo? I mean, that certainly doesn't count as one. And this certainly doesn't count as one either. But if you look at the powers, like here, it says 6 superpowers. So this will trigger. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Well, that probably counted one from before, but you can see that it's clearly counting each power. Whereas with the weapon combos, it seems like it's like I don't know when it stops to count and when it starts the next count. I think one of the things that would be useful is, like, once you get that aspect, the hit that's powered up should look different. If there is an effect for that, I'm not noticing it. Yeah, see, the shark should buff the next power, and I'm not sure. I didn't see anything visual there. There's the shark and the power hit. Yeah, there's no additional effect. Yeah, it's important that there's a visual on everything. Okay, so there's no visual on the weapon after the lion. But it's good that the animal shows up though. It would be bad if that didn't have a visual. It could use one on the powered up team. Okay, so the Supercharge, if I fire a 50% or 5,000, should trigger the gorilla, which I've never seen before. So let's look at that. It is. So okay, so this clearly triggers a lot more at 200. Because I wasn't seeing the lion or the gorilla at all with my 120 on lion. Alright, so let's actually think about situations here. So I'm pulling up the description again. Okay, so obviously since weapon is buffing power and power is buffing weapon, this kind of suggests that you have to be hybrid. But since, let's see, since the powers one triggers more consistently, I would say this probably favors like a super-powered, a hybrid build that leans towards superpower over weapon. Plus you have to have the Supercharge in. Because if you have a loadout that doesn't have Supercharge, you're negating one of the aspects. So, I mean, you could probably use, like if you're full precision or full might, you could also use this. You would just be leaning towards one aspect versus the other. But it definitely suggests that it's hybrid, since it's both might and precision. After seeing this on test at 200, it probably is worth leveling the live one up to 200. But whether or not I use it on multiple characters, that's another new thing we have to think about. So if you get one character maxed out and you feel like it's really useful, then you can apply the Wolfpack to it to unlock it for the rest of your accounts. But yeah, I was on the fence about this, just using it on live, and now I do feel better about it. Because on the sparring targets, it does trigger quite a bit. Okay, I hope this helps you out, and if I do some further testing, I will make another video. Thanks for watching.